to raise a bar with all links in the chain. You don't have to be a star to raise a bar with all links in the chain. Hey guys, it's Lilly coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
And it's LindaRose coming to you live from Maine.
So welcome to our season premiere of season 2. I'm so excited to get started with this new season. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. And can we talk about our new intro?
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it so much.
Good. Oh my goodness. Emma did such a good job on that. She slayed. It was amazing. Oh my, I've only seen little teeny tiny bits of it too, so it was so awesome to see the full thing. I was so happy about that.
I know, I'm so happy with it. And we've also been sharing all these amazing promos and stuff too. So thanks so much to our team, Renee and and everybody. Thank you so much. And we're so excited to go ahead and get started with our first season. We have so many amazing interviews and new topics to talk about. So it's going to be great.
We also have a lot of new different jobs and professions that we'll be interviewing as well, which is going to be so much fun because we're planning a few interviews and had a few interviews of jobs that we don't normally have, which is amazing. And I'm so excited to grow that more because filming these interviews is so much fun. Obviously coming on season 2 is so much fun, and I'm so happy that we're back. And we're starting off this season, our episode 1 premiere. We're starting it off with a bang too.
Absolutely. And make sure you guys tune in and stay tuned to all of our episodes for the rest of season 2 because we have some really great stuff coming. And as Linda said, a lot of great interviews coming on. Today, we're going to be interviewing an amazing violinist, pianist, and composer. She was actually a Billboard charting pianist too. Her name is Jennifer Thomas, and she's actually one of my musical inspirations. So I was so happy to get to have the chance to talk with her.
She was a great interview. She did so good, and it was so amazing to have someone that big, especially since she was on Billboard charting. It was so amazing to just interview her and have that experience, and she is such a huge artist and just has so much good input and everything into her answers. And also, we went into some topics that we haven't really talked about on season 1 in this interview, which is really important, and I hope you guys all enjoy it.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and first, before we air the interview, show a music video of hers. So hope you guys enjoy. Hi, Jennifer Thomas. Thanks so much for coming on today and doing an interview with us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How did you get inspiration and ideas for writing and composing music?
That is a good question. I would say a lot of my inspiration comes from nature. I'm a big nature lover, so I love to get outside, especially the ocean. My heart is just drawn to the ocean. Forests. I don't know. If you're familiar with my music, you probably kind of pick up on that. And then also just like life experiences, stuff that I've gone through, stories from my own life, which I think is pretty common for a lot of songwriters. But those are probably my biggest two inspirations.
Absolutely. I always love getting to hear how different artists draw inspiration. And nature is a great one. I need to start trying to write songs about nature because that's something I haven't ever tried.
I know a big thing when writing a song too is like there's some parts that it's just so hard where you get like a brain block and you kind of lose your spot and are kind of having a hard time writing. And I wanted to know what's the hardest step when writing or composing music?
Yeah. First of all, I totally understand what you're talking about with writer's block. I think it happens to everyone. And if it doesn't happen to you, then you are just like some amazing person, not from this world. Sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to always be creating, whether it's content or music or always putting out social media posts. And I don't think, especially as an artist, I feel like we're very passionate and also just very sensitive to the world around us. And I feel like as artists, we need to take breaks from all of that to reconnect to why we do this, reconnect to the things that inspire us. So for me personally, if I get into writer's block, I just I call it my bubble. I just go into my bubble and I shut the world out. Just trying to reconnect to that part of me that feels inspired to create.
Yes, that's such great advice. Writer's block can be one of the hardest things to accomplish, especially if you have something you're trying to get done. So definitely that's really important advice. I was wanting to talk with you a little bit about your song, Girl in the Mirror. It's a beautiful song, and I know a little bit about the meaning behind it. But I was wondering if you could maybe share a little bit with our viewers about the meaning of the song.
Yeah. And you came to my Portland concert, right, on my tour?
Yes, that was so amazing.
That was so good to see you there. And I heard you probably remember when I was on stage, I shared a little bit of a story of that song. But for anyone who's not familiar with it, it's really just my song about. It was kind of a healing song from years of body image, which I feel like so many people go through. In fact, I think I saw a study recently that said it asked all these women, like, how many of you have ever struggled with body image? And it was like 95%. Like only 5% of women don't struggle with their body image. And it's not just women, it's guys too. Like it's all across the board. Everyone can struggle with this. And I definitely did since I was, I don't know. I think it started when I was about 12 years old. And I had a lot of years of feeling like I'm not lovable unless I am this certain image or I look a certain way. And I got that from like media pressures and also just family pressures, which I don't blame my parents or anything for the things that they said or did. I think it was just like my parents did the best they could, thinking like, oh, we're going to try and help you be healthier. But in my very young adolescent mind, I don't think I took that as they intended it. And it just kind of spiraled into being like super self-conscious. And then in my college years, it was just really hard. I went through some eating disorders and like eating disorders are a whole other topic. You know, we can get to another time, but like so many people struggle and they're, I don't know, it's not just like one thing. It can surface in a myriad of ways. And I eventually, did some treatments and counseling just to kind of heal from all of this. And I wrote this song after, I don't know, just kind of like, I feel like I pushed all of that aside for so many years. I just didn't even want to think about it. And then it resurfaced again. And for me to write the song Girl in the Mirror was kind of me like facing it head on and like, okay, I need to like face this dragon. And I wrote a poem for that song, just talking about like what I went through, and it was so hard to, guys, I'd never actually talked about it publicly. It's something I just kind of privately went through. Like my husband knew about it, and he's probably the only person. And so I remember when I released that song, I made like this whole video talking about like why I wrote it and my story. And it was probably the most vulnerable thing I've ever done. I was so scared. I felt like, well, on a whole side note, like when you're a musician, and you probably know this too, like when you're in this industry, like there's also a lot of pressure for like how you look. And I get so frustrated with that because I'm like, I'm not a model. Like my my job is not to look good. It's to make great music. And so when you have all this added pressure though, to like, oh, well, not only do you have to be talented, but you have to look good too. I just like, I specifically never talked about it in my music because I felt like, okay, if I talk about it, then that invites people to comment on it. And I don't want to talk about it. I don't want it to be like a thing with my music. I don't even want it to be a focus. So when I released that song and I released that video, I think I had like a panic attack. The great thing about it is though, I've had so like nothing but positive feedback. And I've had so many comments from other people across the world who like have heard the song, or they've listened to, or they've read the poem that went through it. And it's just like so many people have gone through the same thing. And if anything, like, even though it was really scary to talk about, it opened up a conversation with all these people who like they've gone through the same thing. They know exactly what it's like. And so I think it ended up being like a really positive thing, but it was hard.
Trying to hear about how you use music to talk about these issues. I know on Orchid Times, body positivity is something we talk about a lot. So it's really important that you came on here, and thank you so much for talking to us about that. I know you're so pretty in all of your music videos, and your dresses are amazing. So
you're so nice. Oh, I appreciate that, but I don't always feel that way. And that's, I want to say though, even though when you do like healing work for all this, I feel like it's a continual journey that you're always working on, and I'm still working on it. But it's just important to, I think I'm much better now, but like, I just want to say to anyone listening, like what you think other people are thinking about you, or all these things that you're worried about, or you see your flaws, I guarantee you that you're probably the only person really focusing on it. And that's something that I've learned is like, no one else sees these like flaws in you that you see in yourself. And once you can learn to love yourself and just accept yourself and be like, okay, and I'm worthy of love, and I'm all these things, the world just gets brighter and better.
yes, absolutely. Such a powerful message.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people now, especially teenagers, that go to high school, and teenagers now, it's such a big thing with like bullying and everything, such a huge thing now. And I think a lot of teenagers struggle with their body image because of like the typical like image of what boys especially, but can be girls too, of what you think you're supposed to look like. And I think a lot of people are going to eating disorders. I had a friend who had an eating disorder, and she's in treatment now, and she's doing really good. But I know that the reason the reason this eating disorder kind of developed and everything was because she saw like one of her crushes had told her body wasn't what he was into, and she was so hurt by it, and just put her into a deep depression. It was a hard thing to watch her go through, and it was so hard to watch. And I know that eating disorders and bullying and everything, going through that body image, is so hard for so many people, just because it is such a huge thing now, which is so disappointing. And I'd love to see that grow into something that grow into nothing, and I'd love to see it just stop here and like go back to not being a thing, because I think that I saw a TikTok video talking about body image, and I think one of the biggest things said that this woman said, not sure who it was, but she said that it's about loving yourself the way that you are now, and then taking steps to fix what you're not happy with, and doing it in a healthy way, which I think a lot of people misinterpret into so many different things, which is so disappointing, and it's so sad, and it bothers me so much that people even feel the need to stop eating just because, or to eat more than they should,
for one comment,
just because of what people say, which is so sad. But on to much lighter and happier topic, I want to know what some of your accomplishments are, since accomplishments are such a big thing.
I would just say, like, I did a tour right before the pandemic. It was an 8-week tour. But we went as a family and we went on the road. And I mean, we did everything from like booking venues, and it was so much work. And in the end, like, I was so exhausted and probably did the jobs of like 20 different people. But it was so much fun. It was a lot of work. I feel really proud of that. That's one of my biggest accomplishments. And then just other hard things like juggling being a mom and also like having kids and also doing the whole music career thing is not easy either.
So moving into another area of our interview, I wanted to ask you, I know that your music videos, they're always so cinematic and beautiful. Can you walk us through what a day of recording a music video looks like for you?
Yeah, so I'm actually getting ready to shoot one on Tuesday. And so some of my music videos I have done with like a big crew, and there's lots of people who show up and they all have their own little jobs to do, which makes it easier on me. I'm such a hands-on artist. When I have a crew there, it makes it easier. So I just kind of have to show up and play the piano and look pretty. But a lot of my videos are just my husband and I, and he does he does a lot of cinematography for me. And so that's what we're doing on Tuesday. It's just he and I. And then I have a makeup artist. One of my patrons is actually from Patreon. She's going to be in this video for one of her rewards. But so she'll be there. She flew out from DC. And then we have a makeup artist doing her hair and makeup. But to give you an idea, like I've been prepping for this video for like 2 months. I've been getting props. I've been like on Etsy and eBay and Amazon. And I just want every detail to be great. And so I spent a lot of time getting the scenes ready and the props. And then also just finding like so much of music videos is like so visual and like I want the colors all right. So getting the right costumes, researching makeup, how am I going to do makeup? I don't know. Just all these different things. There's so much that goes into it, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun though. Like Tuesday, we're going to get up early and shoot sunrise shots, and we're at this pond, and we're going to have like lily pads and lanterns, and it'll be really pretty. But we have to also haul my 1,000-pound grand piano out to the pond, which we have to do the night before and get it all set up. So it's a lot of work for like a 4-minute song. But I love it. I love creating that kind of fantasy world and just visuals to go along with music. It's really important to me.
I know. I'm getting ready next weekend. I'm going to go record my 15th birthday video, birthday video. And thank you. And I'm so excited. My mom's going to come help me and everything. I know she had me stop taking my piano places because it's just a lot of work to learn on a keyboard.
Yeah, it's so much work.
Absolutely. And I know that for when you shoot a music video, I know a lot of artists, I've watched a few music videos of artists that do it in a meaningful place. There is a poet who wrote a poem about his suicide attempt, and he read the poem in the video under the bridge where he was going to jump off, which was so powerful. And it was one of the best poems I've ever listened to. But and I want to know what are some of your favorite places that you shot a music video at?
I would say one of my favorite videos that I've shot is for my song called A Beautiful Storm. And we shot it we shot in several locations, but I live in Washington on the Olympic Peninsula. And so we're next to the ocean and the forests and the mountains. And we put my old grand piano on the beach, and then we also shot in the forest. And then I had to hike down this really awful rocky trail in flip-flops and a dress, which I almost killed myself, but it was worth it for the shot. But that was probably my favorite shoot just because it was just fun. And we were just kind of shooting whatever. There wasn't a crew. It was just Will and I. And I think I have really good memories from shooting out there, and just, I don't know, it was like fighting the elements, fighting the rain and the tides and everything. But then at the end, it just turned out beautiful, and it was my best memory.
Wow, that's so cool. I want to record a music video at the beach again. I moved to Vegas, so it's been a while since I've been to the beach.
No beach there.
For our next question, I wanted to ask you, in your music video Fire Within, I remember you burned a piano in that video. Can you talk to us a little bit about the metaphor behind that?
Yeah. So that piano was the one I was talking about just now in my Beautiful Storm video. Actually, so we'd used it for like 5 different videos, and it finally just broke. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, what are you gonna do with the piano?" And like, "Are you gonna make it into a garden art piece?" And I'm just, I was like, "No, actually, I'm gonna set it on fire." And everyone was like really shocked to hear that. So we hauled it into the desert. In the video, you see like so Kimberly Starkey, she's the other artist in this video. Her and I are playing 2 really nice Yamaha pianos, but we don't burn the Yamaha pianos. Those are too nice. We burned my old piano. And the symbolism with that was just so the fire within it was supposed to be kind of an epic Viking burial for this piano and the music and the fire that is in with each of us that burns bright. I mean, I think there's a famous quote that says the fire burned brighter within you than the fire around you, or something like that. And I think that was the kind of concept I was going for, was like, even though this piano is on fire, I'm still going, I'm still playing, I'm still going at it. And I want to say though, that was like super scary because when we were in the desert filming that, it was so windy. And like, I only had like a 10-minute window to film those shots because the wind was like, the piano strings were popping and I was afraid one was going to like hit my face, but, or my hair catch on fire or something crazy like that. But anyway, that's the meaning behind the fire within.
Wow, I remember that music video is so cinematic and beautiful, and that's a great metaphor behind it. It's so powerful, and I just love that music video so much of yours.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and I think also that having like a metaphor that means something to you personally or anything like that in your music or in a music video or in a poem or something is really important too, because then it's more personal and it means more to you writing it and filming it and everything than it did before when you were just thinking about lyrics and everything, which I think is just such an amazing thing to have that personal connection to a song through a metaphor or anything like that, which I think is just so important.
It's like trying to tell a story to the audience without being able to use words, which is really hard. So how can I portray that to the audience with visuals and have them understand like what's in my heart? And
absolutely. I know I tried my hand at doing like a piano solo or something once, and it's so hard. That's why I can only write with vocals. I want to try sometime more, but
yeah, I could not imagine writing without like any words or vocals or anything. I cannot even imagine doing that because that's like what I base all my things on. Like that's why I base it around. So like it's just like
I'm envious. I wish actually, so on my new album, I do have a couple songs with words, but I usually have a journal that I keep, and I usually have it around here, but I don't see it. But I just have like a whole journal of like notes and journals and thoughts and poems and everything that I do put into my music. You just don't always see it when it comes to fruition in the final form. It's all instrumental. And I just sometimes want to scream like, "This is what I was thinking."
And I love your TikTok so much too. It's like a great TikTok channel.
Thank you. It's like I hardly have any followers, but it's fun. It's like a little release.
TikTok is so hard. It's hard to like promote and stuff on there. My cat has like so many more followers than me. He's like almost at 1 million likes.
Oh my gosh, I'm not surprised. I'll spend so long making like a really great educational video, and then I'll just do like a really stupid 10-second one, which took no time at all, and it'll get so many more views. And I'm like, why am I trying to actually make quality videos?
TikTok is confusing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting platform, definitely. It's grown so much. Like it got really huge really quick, and it almost got banned a few times. So like
I know.
I was like, it's an interesting platform. Interesting content. But thank you so much, Jennifer Thomas, for coming on. This has been such an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And this was such a great, fun conversation. And you girls are great. Thanks for doing this. And also for talking about the whole topic about body image. I know that's so important. And you're doing good work. So thanks for having me. Having me be part of the conversation.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's amazing to have people on here to talk about these topics. They're so important. We love spreading them through any platform we're given, and having this platform to be able to spread this message is so important to us. So thank you for coming on too and talking.
You're so welcome.
The greatest gift that you can give yourself is to find something that you're naturally adept at and figure out a way to make a living at it. Because if you do that, every day will be a play day. You're never battling upstream. You love what you do. And if you love what you do, why do you want to stop doing it?
Wow, that was such a powerful interview.
Yeah, and I mean I loved interviewing her, and we got to some great topics, but also some really hard topics that could be hard to talk about. And I'm so happy we got to them. Also, just after the live has ended, the end picture that you guys just saw was a poem. And if you want to go back after this has ended live and read that, that would be amazing because it is so good, and she deserves all the love for that poem.
Absolutely. Thank you guys all so much for being here and watching this and supporting us. For anybody new who's just coming on now, you can watch previous episodes of season 1. You guys can watch them back on the Tardan Media Network's YouTube.
And be sure to check out our social media platforms, which will be in the outro once you see it. Make sure to check those out. TikTok has been one we're trying to get more used to, since it is, as we mentioned in the interview, it is a pretty hard platform, but we're really trying with that. And we're hoping to get some YouTube videos uploaded soon on our own OT page as well.
Yes, absolutely. And on the 26th, they're going to be ending this month with a special birthday celebration / Q&A episode. So make sure you guys start sending in your questions so we can do that episode.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. Season 2 has officially started, and I'm so happy about it.
Yes. Make sure you guys tune in next week on Wednesday to see another amazing interview. And thank you guys again so much for being here. See you guys next week.
Bye.